Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everyone. Today we will be discussing uh, how AI can help engineers or infrastructure engineers uh, to set up a data center or maybe to monitor a data center. So that's what we will be discussing today. That how AI can help the data center in data center, right? And how we can integrate some of the tools in data centers, like AI tools. Maybe some of you have experience, or maybe you are working on AI, right? So this is also uh, a good point. Like you will learn that how you guys can help us, because my expertise is in data center. I'm not AI person, but let's say some of you are working uh, on AI, right? So you can get to know that how you can prepare some models or some tools, right? How you can train some machines or tools which can help us in the data set. So let me ask you one. I need a best answer from all of you that what is data center? Anyone, can someone speak up or can someone just write something on the chat box so that we get to know that what are your thought about data center?
Simply put, a data center is a place where all the servers are housed, and the clients can reach up to servers using public or a private network.
Anyone else? Do you have any idea what is data center? Server room, right? In simple word. Maybe you have studied server machine, right? Yep. Mr. Abdul Hanan.
We can say it's like computer space
Mhm.
where all servers structured into racks and network switches and UPS.
Mhm.
Yeah, where air flow is guaranteed, and yeah, we can say something like this.
Right. Yep. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you, guys. So we will talk about what is data center, right? Uh, let me introduce myself. My name is Kashif Ali, and I'm the founder and CEO of TechFund, which is a tech community. In the main purpose of our community is to bridge academia and industry. Uh, Basically, I am a permanent employee at Zones, is inside solution architect, and my expertise is in VMware technologies, right? I started my career back in 2010 as a student, and then back in 2012, uh, my first job was a trainer, and I trained almost 50 students in my first batch. And that's how I started my career, and that was system administration and then network administration. Then I started working on the virtualization technology, now working on the cloud technologies as well, right? And I'm a VMware vExpert since 2021. And the criteria of VMware vExpert is that I'm an active contributor of the VMware technology to the cloud and virtualization. So today we will start. Let's start from the data center. So basically, Data center is a physical facility that organization use to house their critical application. Maybe if you are a student of university, you have a CMS system or LMS system of your university. You have a URL which you open on your laptop or mobile phone. When you are able to log into your CMS system or LMS system, you can check your result, you can submit your assignment. So basically, where is that your data is stored? So that is basically stored on the data center, right? So if you haven't visited your data center of your university, you can visit this week. You can ask your IT team and you can visit them. I can see some of the people, they are from industry side, so they are already familiar that they are uh, familiar with the word data center. So it's a common word for them, right? So these are the different components of data center. So today's agenda is that how AI can be helpful in data center. So before I speak, do you have any idea? I mean, can anyone just paste it in the chat or just unmute yourself and speak up that how AI can help us in the data center? Let me give you a hint. For example, even these days, if you purchase a server hardware from Dell, so there are server hardware which has AI integrated tools available which monitor the server performance, which can give you the temperature of the server. Then is it cool or is it hot, right? What is the performance? Is there any issue in the server? For example, even there are some tools which will be proactive, like they will tell you before an incident. Just like as a human, sometimes we feel like tomorrow I'm going to have a temperature, right? I'm going to have a flu because you know that there is something happening, right? So, which is why today we will discuss the different tools, right? Those can help us in the data center, right? So, this is the physical infrastructure of a data center. I will just go through it very quickly. So, if you don't know about data center, right? So there are servers, there are network switches, storage devices. These are also storage technologies. Let's say this is you. Let's say this is your computer in your university or organization, and whatever you access, right? So these are stored here on the data set. So this is the physical infrastructure of the data set. So today we will discuss two things, right? One thing will be VMware vSphere. Maybe you have heard about VMware. It's a company just like Microsoft, Cisco, Red Hat, Oracle, Dell. So VMware is also a company, right? And this company has different products. Today we will be talking about VMware vSphere. This is what we will be discussing, and then we will discuss how we can integrate some of the AI tools with this product, which can help us for in our day-to-day job, right? Let's say you are a system administrator in your organization, and you are responsible to manage the physical servers. Let's say if something happened to this machine, so you will have to move the workload to the other physical machine because you need these applications to be available to your clients. So there are some tools, some features which will automatically migrate the workload if there is some incidents happen, right? So this is a virtual infrastructure, as you can see here, physical server. If you see the previous slide, here you can see physical server. An operating system is directly installed and application is installed on the OS. But if you look into this structure, you can see a physical server has an extra layer called hypervisor. This is a special type of operating system, a special type of application which you will install on the hardware instead of operating system. And then you can create virtual machines and you can host your application. Let me ask you one. Have you ever used VMware Workstation? Can you raise your hand so that I have an idea? Yes, I can see one person on with VMware Workstation. Now I can see, okay, I can see that VMware Workstation. It's a hypervisor, right? Let's say, which allow you to run multiple virtual machines, right? So I'm not going into that one. I do have some basic lectures available on my YouTube channel. My team will post the link with you as well. But this is my YouTube channel. You can find me there. And I have some basic lectures. If you don't know about virtualization technology, if you don't know about hypervisor, if you don't know about virtual machines, virtual switches, I do have lectures available on my YouTube channel. You can go through it and you can clear your concept. Today, I will not be focusing on the basic things. Right? The agenda is very clear today. We will be talking about some of the features. We will discuss how we can integrate AI, right? What are those tools, right? So let's move forward. As we discussed that virtualization, so we have server virtualization, network virtualization, storage virtualization, desktop virtualization. This is complete software-defined data center, SDDC, right? So for server virtualization, the product of VMware is vSphere. For network virtualization, NSX is the product. For storage, vSAN is the product. For desktop virtualization, VMware has Horizon. Inshallah, I'm planning to deliver a session on NS6, right? That will be another workshop some other day. Then I'm planning to discuss vSAN someday. We will discuss Horizon so that at least you have an introduction to these product set. And maybe, and this is also a complete career path. If you want to become a VDI expert, then I would say go for it. Start this, learning this technology, right? And you can have a good career, right? Yes, since the agenda of today's session is only VMware, so which is why I'm focusing on the VMware product. There are competitors like Microsoft Hyper-V, Citrix, Nutanix, Proxmox. This is not good that even I'm telling you the names, but that's fine, right? So let's move on. So these are different types of virtualization. So today we will talk about server virtualization, right? And for server virtualization, the product is called vSphere. So vSphere is a suite, just like you have Microsoft Office, MS Office. So MS Office is a suite which has MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, all these products. So vSphere is like a Microsoft Office thing. And we have two product set. The one is called ESXi, which is the hypervisor. And the second component of vSphere is vCenter Server, which is the management tool, right? So let me show you my lab here. I think I should open in the next tab. It's gonna work here. In the meantime, you can ask me question.
Why there is a need of virtualization? Why we are doing virtualization?
Mr. Sajid Shamir. It's a good question. Basically, virtualization is the only technology which reduce your IT cost. So even if a technology can reduce your IT cost, so definitely you will use it. And let me start from your personal laptop. You have a laptop with 16 GB RAM, and you have Windows 10 installed on that laptop, right? And if I ask you to install Linux operating system because you are a freelancer and you have some project, then you need Linux operating system for that. So option number one, you will go to market, you will purchase a laptop, you will install Linux operating system because the laptop which you has, you have some personal data and you have some office data or something like that. So because for a single project, you are purchasing another laptop. So with virtualization, you can create virtual machine on top of your laptop, and then you can install Linux operating system. So this is the virtualization which allows you to run multiple operating system on a single hardware. So this is one single example. Let's say in your organization, as you mentioned that you are working in organization, you have server hardwares. You have, for example, 10 applications, right? So if you need to deploy 10 application, right? How many server hardware you need? You need 10 server hardware.
Yeah, normally, 10 server.
Yes, so this is virtualization, which allows you to run multiple application on a single hardware, but in isolated form, right? So, like, this is one example. I hope I answered your question. So this is the technology which reduce your IT cost, which allows you to run multiple virtual machines, multiple operating system on a single hardware. And the very good thing is, if you do not want to use virtual, okay, I have seen organizations, people, I have worked with many clients, right? We provided solutions to them. They use virtualization for that purpose so that they can move their application from that hardware in future. So let's say if you have currently, okay, I think I need to reboot the system. I got some issue. Let me see. The lab is in progress. Okay, anyone else can answer Mr. Sajid's question?
Actually, let me try to explain a little bit simply. Like 20 years before, if we need 10 application, we need to install or we need to buy 10 servers, for which we need to have a complete data center with redundant power, AC, cooling, rack, switches, each and everything. No? But what is happening after some time, like the technology get advanced. So before, for example, you have one CPU with 4 core. So now you have one CPU with like 32 cores. So you have too much power in the single chip. So what happened? The engineer come with the idea to utilize these all of these core at once to reduce the cost. So this is when they came with this idea of virtualization. So what is happening? For example, in near future, we are going to buy 3 servers only, and we have 50 virtual machine. So all these 50 virtual machine will just host it on these 3 servers, and still we will have a high availability, and the cost will be reduced. So for us as well as the management as well.
Yep, you are right. Thank you. So, okay, basically, today's agenda is not like a basic thing, so which is why I'm focusing main on the product line. But as I said, I have some of the basic lectures available on my channel. So for those who are new to virtualization, I would recommend to go through all these lectures and clear your concept regarding virtualization technology. Some of the, maybe I'm wrong here, but maybe some of you can correct me. Majority, I can see these days people wants to start their career in cloud computing, right? So they come to me and my first answer to them is that before moving to AWS or Azure, I would recommend to learn the vSphere, that is the private cloud, right, solution, and which will help you how you can build your own infrastructure. In AWS, if you are a solution architect or a cloud engineer, you only see the front end of the cloud. You don't know the back end of the cloud. So by learning this technology, you will get to know how actually they build the infrastructure for the clients. And maybe then you will be a good solution architect or a good cloud engineer. So this is what I also suggest to my students or people come to me if they ask me. So I always prefer that learn the VMware technology first, especially the data center virtualization, right? This is the foundation of the software-defined data center. So as you can see here, this is the over interface of the, okay. So let's talk about the ESXi hypervisor. So this is the hypervisor that I discuss here. What is VMware vSphere? So vSphere is the virtualization platform that includes 2 core administrative components for running virtual machines. As Sajid said that before virtualization, we would install operating system on hardware directly, and then we would install application on the operating system. So let's say if your company has 3 applications, can we install application 2 and application 3 on same machine? Can someone answer me?
Normally, you can
Yes.
you can install but it is not recommended because, for example, you cannot install SQL database on Exchange server, or you cannot install SQL database on Active Directory. I mean, you can install, but it is not recommended because it will interfere with each other.
Okay. Who said yes?
Yeah, he's right. Normally, it is not recommended to install multiple application on a single metal box. But the idea is, before virtualization, there was the concept of one application or two, three applications per metal box, per one server hardware. And all those servers were, acting in isolation. VMware, what VMware has done that is it has aggregated all those servers into a cluster to work together and roam those applications and VMs upon that cluster, having a shared storage, same network all over the servers. So your application can float on multiple servers wherever you desire. So that's the power of VMware, that it has aggregated your servers into a one cohesive unit.
So basically, maybe some of you are thinking that you have a laptop and you have Google Chrome, Zoom, Skype. Skype is no more, but let's say VLC player or Visual Studio. So you can install multiple applications on a single hardware. That is possible. But can you tell me the disadvantage of this scenario, the diagram which is shown to you? Let's say if you have database, email server, web server, hosting on same whole machine, and if there are some updates for database, and you have installed those updates, and the database wants you to restart the machine. So because of the database, the remaining two applications will also be restarted. So it means that in this scenario, the applications are dependent on each other, and this is not a good approach. Even if the hardware goes down, all the three applications will be down, right? So this is the drawback. So
Yeah, besides that, we have to consider performance issue as well.
exactly, you are right.
And dependencies conflict, operating system limitations.
Yep, some applications will not accept the other application, right? It will say that, hey, delete the other application so that I can work. Otherwise, I'm not going to work. Okay, so that's good. Thank you for the participation. So basically here you can see this is the same hardware, this one, but instead of the operating system, they install a hypervisor, and the VMware hypervisor is called ESXi, right, which you can install directly on the hardware. And this is the interface of the ESXi hypervisor. So this is a single hardware, and let me refresh it. You can see here, this is the host, and the ESXi hypervisor, you can create virtual machines like this, create a virtual machine, install operating system, or you can deploy the existing virtual machine. And what is vCenter server? So let's say if you have multiple ESXi hosts and you are managing them individually, you have this dashboard, which is called vCenter server. And you can see here in this environment, we have ESXi 1, 2, 3. So because of the vCenter server, we can manage multiple ESXi hosts. So this is a centralized thing. Now, let's click on the Windows 10 virtual machine. Let's log into this machine, right? And let me log into this VM. I know the passwords of these virtual machine. At the end of the session, if you guys want to start learning or performing the labs, I will share the labs link, and you can start playing with the lab. Okay. So this is the Windows 10 virtual machine, as you can see here. Let me click on the summary tab. Let me scroll down. This virtual machine, this one, this machine is currently on ESXi2. You can see, right? Give me 1 second. So let's say we want to remove this host from the cluster, or let's say uh, we need some maintenance in this hardware. This is a hardware, right? Server hardware. And we have some critical application running here on the Windows 10. And I do not want any downtime. I don't want this VM to be powered on, right? So there is a feature available. Let me show you practically. Let me open something here. Let's say, let me open Notepad. AI in data center. So one of my client is, a user is working on this machine, right? I want to move this VM from this hardware to this one. You can simply right click here. You can click migrate, and then you can select change compute resource only. I only want to change the server, the host, right? Which one? I want to move it to ESXi3. Compatibility check succeeded, right? And I just moved a powered on virtual machine from one host to another host. You can also check the progress. And from here, you can also check that now it's Windows 10 is currently running here on ES6i3. Now let's check the status of that virtual machine. Let me log in again. And let's see. See, the progress is still there. There is nothing changed. And this is called vMotion. This is one of the feature called vMotion. To move power on virtual machine, the whole application. Let's say this is the whole database or running, right? Now, we did this thing manually. Like I was I log into vCenter server like this. Then I clicked on the virtual machine. Then I clicked migrate. And then I moved that virtual machine to the other host. So manually, I did this thing. So can we automate this process? This is a question. Automation, like AI.
Yes, you can.
Like,
Not AI, but it can be automated by using DRS, by configuring distributed resource scheduler on the whole
so,
cluster.
okay.
So the cluster can decide which VM can be migrated to which server based upon the
So,
usage of that particular ESX.
yeah, you are right. So basically,
DRS
Yeah.
usually DRS come into picture when there's some the constraint on hardware or there's too much load on some specific server. Although you can use the affinity and you can use the affinity feature as well, but normally DRS only work when there's a then there's a hardware stress. Then the virtual machine will move from one server to another.
Okay. So you both are right, but let me explain it in my own way. Basically, today's agenda is that what are those features? If we study the DRS architecture, this is also machine learning. You know ML, machine learning, right? I think we have some AI expert here as well. Madam Sumaya is here. So machine learning is basically the, if I'm not wrong, this is the branch of AI or the sub part of AI. Is that correct? Okay. Got it. Now let's do one thing. We will talk about DRS after a while, but we have some other options also available, right? So basically, my message to those people uh, whose background is from the AI, this is the platform for you. You can check that what are the manual things which we as a infrastructure engineer or vSphere engineer, we are doing manually, right? You can sit with us and we can give you some scenarios that, hey, if you can prepare some AI tools, right, which help us to automate some of the tasks. So we will discuss about that as well. Let's move to the next slide. As you can see here, so AI optimized for virtualized data center. And here I will be doing marketing for the VMware vSphere as well. As you can see, 70% of enterprise data center currently they are working on the basically VMware vSphere is there. Maybe you have heard about the Broadcom. Broadcom is a company. Broadcom acquired VMware, and the Broadcom policy and vision is to only focus on bigger organization, enterprise level organization. So which is why they changed the license model. This is another story. I'm not going to into that. And we also have some challenges these days. If we are talking to the small customers, and if we present the solution, they will say VMware is expensive because of the Broadcom strategy. Broadcom is mainly focusing on one thing that is called VCF. And if you are from the VMware background, let me tell you, moving forward in future, there will be only one license model, and that will be VMware Cloud Foundation. And Broadcom will only focuses on the big organization, enterprise. So let's talk about the different scenarios. As we discussed that if we integrate AI with vSphere, what type of results we can get? AI-powered monitoring and analytics. So let me give you an example of this now. As you can see here, this is my environment. Let's say I want to set a threshold that if, let's talk about alarms, right? This is one of the feature, alarms. What is alarms? Let me demonstrate. I'm going to set alarm on this Windows 10 virtual machine. And the condition will be if RAM utilizations is more than, let's say, for example, 10% for 1 minute, then take action. Send me an email, or maybe migrate the virtual machine, restart the VM, shut down the VM, right? So this is also a type of like a sort of automation. Like you are administrator, you are training your machine, your product, you are setting some threshold, right? So let's do this. We right click here, and there we can see alarms, and I can click new alarm definition. Can give it a name, that RAM usage testing purpose on virtual machine, and I will say if CPU, or let's say RAM, where is memory usage is greater than, is above 5%, right? For consider it as warning and take action. Power off the VM, right? And for how many minutes? For let's say 30 seconds, just to show you. This is not realistic thing, but just to show you the result. And then you can click next. Do you want to set some reset rule? If no, then you can leave it as it is. And now, let me log into this machine, right? And let me open some of the let me check the RAM utilization here. The RAM utilization is almost 45%, more than 5%, right? After 30 seconds, the machine will be powered. See? So this is one of the examples, right? You can set some type of, so this is, you can automate some of the tasks. As I mentioned in the start, I'm not the AI expert, right? But I can give you examples that how AI can help the data center virtualization, the data center technologies. It's not only for vSphere. You can use AI integrated tools for server hardwares, for storage, right? For backups. So there are different scenarios. Intelligent workload placement. Let me give you a scenario. Or maybe I can give you a scenario here. Let's say you have 10 virtual machines and you have ESXi host server hardware 1, server hardware 2, and server hardware 3. Let's say I give you a task to distribute 10 virtual machines on the 3 ESXi host. Can you do that? What will be your formula? Let me make it easy. I know you guys are confused here. let me say 9 VMs. I know Mr. Sajid and Shamir will try to say that 9 divided by 3 is equal to
Actually, I will
3.
not answer. Yeah, I will not answer like this because it depends on workload. So maybe all those 9 virtual machine will not be equal. Maybe there is some machine which need more CPU, more RAM. So
Exactly.
normally, what will happen? First of all, what will happen? So although there are 3 hosts, but technically, when you add them in the cluster, they become 2. So because if you put the HA or DRS formula on this, so it will become 2. Because for example, if one of the hosts goes down, the workload which is running on that particular hardware, it will move to the second or third ESXi host. No? So I mean, all those things you need to like consider when you're going to place this 9 virtual machine.
Okay, got it. Any other one? Mr. Ahmed Ali. Okay, so basically, Mr. Sajid is right. We cannot distribute the workload like this, that 3 virtual machines on each ESXi board. There is a possibility that one of the virtual machine workload will be more or higher than the other virtual machine. Again, for a human, it is very difficult, I would say. It's not impossible, it is possible. Like if you start monitoring your environment and you check the resource utilization of each virtual machine, and based on that, you sit with some of the guy who is from the statistic background, right? You can sit with them and then you can find the solution, and after that you will decide that 2 virtual machines will be here, 4 VMs will be here, and 3 VMs will be here because of the workload there. So this is something you will do manually. So for a small environment, that is something possible. But if you have, let's say, 100 virtual machines, right? And you have 10 ESXi hosts, so how you are going to do that? So we do have a feature called vSphere DRS. We will be talking about that, and I will also demonstrate that feature. Once you use DRS feature in a fully automated mode, it will automatically migrate or distribute the workload, right? You will not, you don't need to do it manually. DRS will decide where to place which virtual machine, where to migrate which virtual machine. So that is something DRS will perform, right? Automated anomaly detection, the behavior, like everyone needs a guide, a person who can guide them, right? So, like, do you know that what will happen to this storage device after 2 days? You don't know that. But if you have some tools which can give you prediction that after 5 days you will need more space, this way you will be proactive. After 5 days, you are going to face some storage issue, but because of those tools, you are aware 5 days before, then you can go to market and you can talk to your management that we will need some storage capacity issue because of the daily transactions. So we need to add more storage devices to our environment, right? So let's see. We talked about vSphere alarms. I just demonstrated you scenario. And now let's talk about VMware Aria Operations. The previous name was VRealize Operations. Have you worked on that, Mr. Sajidin, Mr. Sadiq, or Faiz?
No, I didn't.
A little bit. We realize operation is installed, but I don't know, for some reason I don't find it really helpful. Uh, we can work without we realize operation, but it is helpful when you want to, make some policy on NSX or do something like that.
Yeah. So Mr. Sadiq is disappointed with VRealize Operations, but we have some new features available. Like, for example, we have some AI engine feature available in Aria Operation, which can help the application of data science and predictive analytics to IT operation problems. So if you properly configure your VMware Aria operations with your environment, then you can, you can utilize it properly. And let me give you an example. Mr. Sadiq is, let's say, a data center guy, right? And for example, he is managing 100 servers. So what if we integrate this tool with the data center, and after the observations or based on the data, after 1 month, the Aria operations give you a report which tells you that, hey, instead of 100 servers, you can use 80 servers, and still your performance will be good because of this product, because of the recommendations from such tools. Then you can talk to your team and you can tell them that, hey, why we are using 100 servers? Why not if we move the workload to only 80 servers and we power down 20 servers? This way we can save electricity. This way we can save the cooling expenses. This way we can keep the 20 servers for future use. The server age will be good of those 20 servers. This is one example. I will answer your question, Madam Sumaya, but let me explain another option. Have you ever heard about distributed power management, DPM?
Yeah, I think it's a feature of VMware vSphere, no? So if, for example, during the day, if there is too much workload, all the server will work, but at night when there's no workloads, few of the server will shut down and it will save your electricity and power, etc., etc.
Okay.
The scenario that you have mentioned is also known as wake up on LAN. Wake up on LAN is a feature which gives you the facility of turning off a server during night and waking up.
Okay. Yep. So
Actually, it is based on workload rather than activity. So if there's no workload, the vCenter will go there, analyze all the server and
okay.
Yeah, you can.
Yep. Let me explain. Basically, yes, you are right. DPM is distributed power management. DRS is also one of the feature, but there are some features of DRS which is called predictive DRS, right? So predictive DRS feature is only available when you have this tool available. So Mr. Sadiq, if you properly study the tool and if you properly integrate this tool with your vSphere environment, you can achieve more of it, right? So let me answer Madam question that how anomaly occurs in a data set. So basically, let's say you have a server hardware, right? And the server hardware is like it's working normally. It means there is no issue. But if the server hardware behavior is changed, maybe the fan is not working, maybe the cooling system is not working, right? Maybe one of the server RAM is failed, right? So this is abnormal behavior. So if you have tools available which give you notification, right? And which inform you that, hey, there is some issue in the server hardware, you need to take action. And one more thing, there are some other tool available which is called Aria Automation. Aria Operation may give you recommendation, but Aria Automation will also take action. So there are some tools available which will not only give you recommendation, but will also take action, right? That's how it works. So let me now, I hope you got my point. So if you don't know about Aria Operation, there are some options available for you people. You can simply log into VMware HOL. These are free labs. You can log into VMware HOL labs like this, right? For the beginner, I would suggest Virtualization 101. And for the already working in the VMware portfolio, I would recommend to work on this one, VCF operation. This is the lab. Let me share you the link here. This lab is for those who are already working on the VMware portfolio. You can log into this lab, right? Start this lab. You can play with multiple labs at the same time. So, and there are some notes available. You can read these notes. You can build the solution. And inshallah, in upcoming workshop, I will show you how you can deploy this product in your environment, how you can integrate it. This is already deployed here. So you just need to log in here. You can simply log in here. This is the dashboard. And once you log in here, this is the dashboard of the VMware Aria operation. You can see here, we have 2 cluster, 1 data center, 7 hosts, 1 vCenter, 29 virtual machines, 5 pods, containers, 4 distributed switches, 2 data stores. This is the complete inventory. And then if you need some reports, you can click the operations, go to reports, right? Then let's say you want to see the capacity reports. Click here, run the report, select the cluster. For example, this cluster I want to go for. Once you run the report, it will take some time. After some time, you can click this one, right? And it's still processing. Once it's ready, you can download the PDF and then you can review your environment. So this is also a good tool for monitoring purpose. See, The tool is completed. You can click on the PDF version. And once you click the PDF, automatically the PDF will be open here. I think it's still downloading, so let's wait for it. Right? So this is the complete report of your capacity. Like here you can study data, the capacity of your environment, right? Number of data store 1, you can scroll down, you can read the report, right? This is also a good tool. You guys can work on it, and I mean, you can simply, if you don't know how to play with these labs, these are the instruction on the right side, and you can get some fruitful options, right? And then you can use this one. And especially, I would recommend if you are a VMware administrator, in future, need to use this one. People are using still, right? We have seen environment. Especially, this is also a bundle package in the vSphere Foundation, and also in VMware Cloud Foundation. Now, the last thing which we will be talking today is vSphere Distributed Resource Schedule. What is Distributed Resource Schedule? Basically, it will distribute the work. Whenever I explain this topic, I just say to my students that the distributed resource scheduler has two functions. Initial placement of virtual machine, and the second one is migrating VMs, right, automatically if there is need. For example, you have this virtual machine running on this host, but the virtual machine performance is not good, then DRS will do the calculation that will check that if we move this virtual machine to this host, and what will be the performance of the view. So based on the data, right, based on the analytics, if DRS thinks that after moving the VM to this host, the VM performance can be good, then DRS will automatically move the VM to this host for better performance. And how it works? It works based on the VM score, right? There is a VM score. It takes decision based on the VM scores, right? So let me show you. This is our environment. We have 3 hosts here, and we have a cluster. You can simply click the settings, right click on the cluster and go to settings. And after that, by default, the DRS feature is powered off. You can click edit. And let me enable the feature. We have 3 types of automation level. If we select fully automated, you can read this. In fully automated, the DRS automatically plays VMs onto host at VM powered on when virtual machines are automatically migrated from one host to another to optimize resource utilization. Let me show you one. Let me change it to manual and let me click OK. Let me power off all the virtual machine. Let's say I have these virtual machines. These are powered off. And for example, you have a very big environment and you have some powered off virtual machines, which you need to power on, but you don't know where to place the virtual machine. So as we can see here, we have enabled DRS feature. If we right click on the VM, for example, Windows 10, and if I click power on, you will see a recommendation from DRS feature, right? So recommendation number 1, place the VM on ESXi3. Recommendation 2 is place the VM on ESXi1. So let's say I want to place it here. So then you can click OK and see the virtual machine is powered on, and that is now on which host? Which host we selected for that? So this is manual automation. DRS will give you recommendation. So even the recommendation is good. If we have a tool, if we have a feature which gives us recommendation, that is also good. Just like you guys are using ChatGPT, right? Copilot, some other AI tools to give you recommendations. And based on that, you take decision. Let's say I was writing a caption for my workshop. So I asked ChatGPT that, hey, I have a session. I need some recommendations if you can give. But this is also good if you have tools available in your data center. If they cannot automate your operations, but at least if they can give you some suggestions, that is also more than enough. But in DRS, you can also change the automation level to fully automated. If you change it to fully automated, DRS will not ask you, it will automatically take decision. And let me show you here. We have tiny Linux VM running on ES6i2. Let me power on. Now it's up to DRS where to place the virtual machine. See, the virtual machine is powered on ES6i3. Let's select this one, ES6i1. Let me power on. So I don't want to get into the details, right? Because we have some rules available. We can configure some affinity and anti-affinity rules. I do have a lecture available on my YouTube channel for the DRS, right? If you don't know about virtualization, I do have lectures available on basic things, right? But the purpose of today's session was to interact with you guys, and for those guys especially who are working in AI field, how they can help the infrastructure team to automate some of the operations using AI tools, how we can monitor our environments. And one more thing, VMware has a solution available especially for the AI workloads. So if you get some time, you can open the labs, the VMware HOL labs, right? On the left side, you can click the products, and when you scroll down, there is a lab waiting for you that is called Private AI Foundation with NVIDIA. This is a lab which you can enroll yourself, and you can understand how you can run or host the AI workload, right? So I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something new today. I also learned whenever I deliver a session. So that's good to have. High availability is another option. What is high availability? Maybe you have heard it. I think you guys are familiar with high availability. If you have a database running and the hardware is not working, and if you have another hardware, so that for the same application, that is high availability. Like if you have internet connection from PTCL and that is not working, then you have another internet connection from NATL that is also high availability. So here you can also utilize high availability. For example, as you can see here, I have these running virtual machines. You can enable this feature, right? I think I do have a lecture here. High availability, how it works, it's a complete different story. But let me enable this feature. It's going to take some time because one of the ESXi host will be elected as a primary host and the remaining will be secondary host. Once the high availability is fully ready, then you can restart one of the ESXi host or server, and after some time, you will see that the affected virtual machines will be available on the remaining host. So there are some features, vSphere features, which you can utilize and you can make your application available to the clients. You can also integrate some of the APIs. There are some companies which provides customized solutions to the clients. Okay. Let me. Oh, this is the training for the beginners. If they are new to virtualization, they can enroll yourself. Right. I will also share the slides with you guys, and you can open the link and you can enroll yourself. You can scan this and you will find me, my LinkedIn profile, and we can connect there for future discussions. And let me stop recording and then we can have a question and answer session.